I'm definitely a huge fan of a healthy caloric intake. For me, if I don't do anything today, I didn't get a chance to exercise. I was like 2,400. I feel great on that, right? If I'm working out hard, it's 3,000 more. There's plenty of calculators you can find online that can give you something like that, but you definitely don't want to starve yourself. So. Yeah, my iPhone does it, but like Fitbits and other things like that do it. So I know I have my phone on me
all the time.
Yeah, there we go.
And then, and also, what's the number of steps you recommend a person should try to reach?
So that there's great. There's some studies on that. They say 5,000 steps a day is healthy. That would be considered a healthy amount. 10,000. Oh gosh, if you walked as part of your exercise, and who here does mentoring calls or spends at least 30 minutes a day on the phone?
Meter looks good.
Right? Don't sit while you're on the phone. That easy. I don't sit down on my phone, which I never do, unless I'm in the car at AC. Yeah, you're going to hit that pretty easily. So, what is the role of doTERRA in exercise? In my coaching, we would always make a joke, and the joke was nobody gets out of their 20s alive. Right? Who here has something on their body that hurts or does not feel optimal when you exercise? Something, right? And so for us, we worked with all levels of athletes. Go ahead.
We put the microphone up.
Oh, closer to the mouth?
Okay, there you go.
Is that better?
Thanks.
All right. All right, so we coached and worked with levels of athletes from competing in CrossFit at a world-class level to people who came in that wanted to lose 100 to 200 pounds, right? And what we found is that supporting joint health was one of the most important things you could do no matter what your level of athleticism. So if you were a collegiate athlete and you played football or you ran or you did those things, you're probably coming in a situation where you tore an ACL or you did something or something hurts when you wake up. And optimizing and supporting joint health for those people is super important. If you know that you have weight to lose and you want to see something interesting, Google the amount of force every 5 pounds of body weight adds to your body when you do something as simple as walking. It's huge. So if you were 10 pounds overweight, you were adding tons of force to your ankles, to your knees, to your hips, to your joints. And so supporting healthy joints is huge. What do I do, right? Deep Blue, I love. I don't know if anybody here has ever layered Deep Blue with past tense, but that is amazing to support joints. And then, again, so why do I double omega? Fish oil and things, anti-inflammatories have been the #1 thing that I can do, for helping joints. All right, so now you guys are determined. You're like, all right, I've got good reasons to eat right. I know enough about it to be dangerous. I know I should be exercising. I didn't realize it could be as simple as walking and adding a little resistance training. Now let's tackle the next thing we have here, which is what? Resting and managing stress. So let's talk about how awesome stress is not for your body. First up, in a review of 18 studies, researchers found a lack of sleep led to increased cravings for energy-dense, high-carbohydrate foods. Can anybody think what they are actually saying right there? What is an energy-dense, high-carbohydrate food? Potato chips? Anybody ever crave potato chips? Cookies, potato chips, starches, right? Anybody ever have a time where they crave salty foods? Right? All right, next, let's talk specifically. Getting less than 6.5 hours of sleep or more than 8.5 hours of sleep was linked to higher body fat. High quality sleep was associated with lower body fat, while poor sleep correlated with higher body fat. Waking up and going to sleep at the same time every day, particularly consistently waking up at the same time, was most strongly linked with lower body fat. And that's from a study done here locally at BYU. We've seen that study in our gym coaching life repeated over and over and over again. Right? The quality of your sleep matters. And going back, right? Why? So we're going to talk. What is cortisol as a hormone? 1,000, 2,000 years ago, whenever people dealt with war, starvation, famine, those kind of things, one of the most important responses that our body could have would be to store fat, right? Does anybody here have food storage? Right? You may have food storage in your house and on your body. And part of the reason for that is elevated cortisol. So cortisol is a great hormone if I'm in danger of starving to death. In America, even our homeless people are not in danger of starving to death, right? And so, what decreases cortisol? Rest. What supports healthy rest? What tools do we have at our disposal that supports healthy rest, right? So who here has a favorite oil to support a great night's sleep? Lavender? Serenity, right? We've got our blends. Vetiver, did anyone say vetiver? Vetiver, my absolute personal favorite, right? And so we can use those oils to support healthy sleep. How about stress? Let's see here. Managing stress, our fight or flight response. It says, and this is an excerpt, right, from an endocrinologist. Since your neuroendocrine system doesn't know you didn't fight or flee, it still responds to stress with a hormonal signal to replenish nutritional stores. What is that telling us? What does stress do? It makes us hungry, right? Following those stress signals can not only lead to weight gain, this is my favorite part, but also the tendency to store what is called visceral fat around the midsection. These fat cells that lie deep within the abdomen have been linked to an increase in both diabetes and heart disease. To further complicate matters, the fuel our muscles need during fight or flight is sugar. One more reason we crave carbohydrates when we're stressed. And so, when we first started out in doTERRA 4 years ago, we would, kind of go through the class, and then when we get to the part of the class where my wife would talk about emotions. And initially, as a guy, that was the part where I checked out, right? I believed I had like the typical male emotions, like happy, hungry, angry. Here's what we saw. I would just see heads start to nod as she talked about dealing with stress. How many people suffer from anxiety? Things like that. And initially for me, we were going through a tough time, so we've been business owners, and we let an employee go who decided that the best way to deal with that would be to call every organization that existed and see if they could audit us. And so in a 6-month period, we got audited by the Fed, we got audited by the state of Utah, we had child care, so CPS came by and took a look and made sure we were okay, and workers' comp and everybody, and it was stressful, right? And there was a point where I wasn't bearing up well under the stress. So I could either come home and be silent, I could be mean to my kids, but I knew that it was having a huge impact on me. And I thought, what can I do to feel better? And so for me, I love to read, and I love to take baths, so I read in the bathtub. And we would do these make-and-take classes, which consisted of me, one other husband, Delaney, who's here, and like 13 moms, and wives, and they're doing make-and-takes, and I'm like, all right, let's do a bath salt, because I love baths. So we did bath salts, and my personal oil for that was Lang Lang. And so I would take a bath with Lang Lang and Epsom salt every night, and I'd turn off all electronics and I would read. And what I found is that was transformative for me. And talk about having a healthy emotional outlook. What I realized, or what I did get to realize, is that I had stress I didn't even know I was carrying because it was so much a part of me. And yes, it was having an impact on my sleep. So what we found as we talked to people about sleep is there's 2 types of not being able to sleep. You can't fall asleep because you're thinking about everything, or wake up because you're thinking about everything. So when I'm stressed out, here's how I know. I wake up at, hello, 4 a.m., welcome. And I lay there in bed and I just think about all that stuff I have to do. And so by using essential oils to support healthy sleep, that healthy sleep allowed my body to heal, right? So it supported that health, which then allowed cortisol levels to drop, which supported healthy body weight. So just a quick picture of the oils, right? We can use blends for that. Somebody said serenity, somebody said balance. Who here loves the new emotional aromatherapy kit? Right? I don't know what it says about me that I love Console so much, but that is like my spirit animal of oils. You know, and then the longer we've done this, I found, who here has noticed that your body will crave different oils depending on what's going on in your life?
Smell different.
Yeah. Vetiver has been a huge oil for our family. We'll say to support healthy attention spans. But we didn't know that when we started falling in love with vetiver. What happened is my 8-year-old, who along with me needs a lot of support for a healthy attention span, started asking for vetiver at bedtime. And then has anybody here ever got annoyed with how slow vetiver comes out? So I did the smart thing and I just took the little nipple applicator off. And then I forgot the next night because my attention span wasn't healthy supported. And I dumped a whole thing, probably half of a vetiver on my son. And so then I tried scooping it off with the oil bottle. And then I'm like, let's just have a vetiver party. And so I canned the vetiver, I had vetiver, my wife had vetiver, my oldest son had vetiver, everybody had vetiver. And then that vetiver supported one of the best night's sleep I've ever had. Right, yeah, I mean there was plenty, like my sheets smelled like vetiver, my shirt smelled like vetiver. It was awesome, but I was able to support that healthy rest. People have known for thousands of years that sleep is the great healer. So, here's the last thing I'm going to leave you with on this. Has anybody ever read a book by James Herriot called All Things Great and Beautiful, or All Things Big and Small? He was a country veterinarian in Wales, right? Right before antibiotics came on the scene. And what we may know, if you guys read bulletins from the CDC, is antibiotics may be leaving the scene right now as well. And he had an experience when he was a young vet. The experience was he went out and there was an animal that was diseased and it was in terrible pain. And he put the animal down, but he had a hard time gauging the animal's weight. He gave the animal an injection, and then he went home. That was Friday. Saturday goes by, Sunday goes by. Monday, he gets a call from the owner of the animal, and the owner says, I don't know what you did, but, and it was a cow, he's like, that cow is healed. It's up this morning, it's eating, it's great. It's like, how's that cow feel? I didn't know the cow. The cow was sleeping. And what had happened is he had given it just enough of a dose to knock it unconscious, right, to put it to sleep for 3 days. And when that animal was out of pain, sleeping, its body supported the healing that needs to happen. And so, in so much of what we do here with doTERRA, what are we doing? We're supporting our body's ability to rest and to heal. And that comes from great night's sleep. So, this is not how to eat less pizza, right, or some of those fun things at the beginning. It's just using the first 3 steps of the doTERRA Wellness Pyramid to get the results we want in life and to get a healthy body composition. Eating right? Eat less crap, eat more food. It's that simple. I highly recommend, if you are 100% committed to changing your life and you want to go all in, go to whole9life.com and do the Whole30. The Whole30. It is, anybody here ever have a virus and have to wipe your hard drive clean and start over on your computer? The Whole30 is nutritionally wiping your life clean. Whole9life. And I'm not affiliated with them, although I am friends with the owner. They're fantastic people. But it's hard. I do it once a year because I know, this is what I need to do. But the great thing now is I support it with doTERRA, especially with that Healthy Gut and the Lifelong Vitality Pack, and it's been amazing for me. Second, if you're not exercising, you should. It could be as simple as walking, just treadmill walking. You can have weight training. There's a tremendous amount of resources. The only thing I would strongly discourage you from doing is going to a gym and signing a contract, right? But incorporate exercise into your life. And then resting and managing stress. If you want to change your body composition in a healthy way, right? Enjoy that health, you absolutely have to sleep. So, that's it for me. I think I've got about 5 minutes for questions. If I don't have any questions, then I'm going to eat some of that healthy food we were just talking about. All right, go ahead.
I'm interested in what you said about selenium.
Mm-hmm.
What do you recommend as far as there's a lot of different seleniums out there.
Right.
Does doTERRA have a selenium?
It's in the Lifelong Vitality Pack.
The Lifelong Vitality Pack?
And,
Is it sold separately?
It is, yes, so you can break out,
Okay.
there's 2 or 3 components, but yeah, you can break that out separately. And I don't know why, somebody in here can tell me, why it's on the tip of my tongue, which one it's in. Maybe so I can't raise, right? Mark.
Is it the VN?
What's that?
Is it the VN?
Yes, yeah, the VN.
Along with that, what makes selenium done by doTERRA better than others? Is it grown somewhere specific?
I cannot answer that.
Okay.
If I don't know, it's an okay.
I'm too curious for my own good most of the
Yeah,
time.
well, no, that's okay.
Thank you.
But if you ask me why the oils are doTERRA better, all right. Fair.
What about juice?
Juice, okay, that was great. You guys heard that question, you said, tell me about juice. I feel I have 2 thoughts on it. The first is that typically the only thing that I've seen matter over the long term are changes to lifestyles for people. Even in the scope of doing a 30-day hard reset, changing your lifestyle matters. So, personally, where is the role of juice? If you skip 1 meal a day and juice instead, consistently, I think that would be great. And that's fantastic for you and your body. And guess what? You don't need 3,800 calories a day. That would be a great way to do it. If you juice as a short-term solution, you will absolutely get some short-term results from that. But due to 2 hormones called leptin and ghrelin, and there's a lot of research on this you can look up on your own, if you aren't adjusting things in a way that allows your body to normalize those 2 hormones, you're typically going to return back to homeostasis, which is where you started. So, it's okay. However, here's my last caveat. Everything is better than nothing, period. So if juicing is your first step, there was that great documentary on juicing. Have you seen it? Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead, where a truck driver starts juicing and loses hundreds of pounds and inspires other people to do it. Yes, it can work, and it worked for him. So everything is better than nothing, and juicing is certainly better than a lot of things that are out there. What people will say if they're kind of picking a bone with that is you're not getting the fiber and the roughage and you're missing some things from it, while getting the most carbohydrate dense part of
I was thinking of the old name, it's Microplex MVP that it is in.
Did you guys catch that? So for the Lifelong Vitality Pack that has selenium, it's the Microplex. All right, any other questions?
You mentioned on one of the bits said that any time that you don't have enough sleep, you gain weight over time. But what about that's the opposite? If you don't really have enough sleep and you lose weight, what is that triggering there?
So outside of the scope of the oils, there's something, what I would do is do your own research on something called adrenal fatigue. And see where that takes you. The second thing is, and again, this is outside of doTERRA, when I had people who absolutely could not manage their weight in one direction or another, and they did everything right, there was always a hormonal reason that underlay that. And where there's proactive medical care for me is I'll go get my panels done by a doctor and see what is going on with me hormonally. So in that situation, I would look into adrenal fatigue, which they'll actually measure the cortisol. Some people's bodies don't produce enough cortisol,